Hey friends, welcome back to the American Approach with your patriotic pal, Honor Bell. Last month, we talked about America's beginning, what caused the United States to form, and why we have the rights that we do. But this month, I want to jump right into the Constitution, which means we have to talk about the First Amendment. Straight from our favorite founding document, it states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So many of our basic, everyday rights are in this single amendment. But I want to start with free speech. I personally feel this right has been very obviously infringed on. Think of how social media has changed just in the last year. Sites like Facebook and Instagram used to be a spot where we could share a glimpse of our lives with family and friends, whether that be posting a picture of a new feline addition to the family or sharing an opinion. Because if you're anything like me, you've scrolled through your feed, seen something political that you agree with, and shared it. But have you noticed what pops up and attaches itself to your post? Oftentimes, it's a little bar below a photo that says something along the lines of, "This is misinformation," even if you know it's proven to be true. What started with an occasional post being removed here and there has now become full-on censorship. I remember seeing a picture of a flower on Facebook accompanied by a quote that read, "Stand up for what you believe in, even if it means standing alone." Now, you wouldn't think that an inspiring quote like that would be harmful in any way, but according to Facebook, it was harmful enough to blur the image and place a warning before it that stated, "Sensitive content. This photo may show violent or graphic content." Isn't that just crazy? So many of us have gotten accustomed to this kind of infringement, and that terrifies me. As we covered last month, King George III passed many acts to take away a multitude of the colonists' rights, the Stamp Act being one of them. This act taxed all paper documents in the colonies and allowed the government to be very selective with what news could spread. But this isn't the only moment in history where censorship has been prominent. Let's time travel back to the 1930s, before World War II started. Nazi leadership had just taken the reins of the German government, and according to the German Constitution, freedom of speech and of the press wasn't in danger of violation. However, the Nazis completely disregarded this and constructed laws to eradicate any German citizens' rights that might have been unfavorable to them. By 1934, it was deemed illegal to condemn or denounce the Nazis, whether that be a lighthearted joke or a conversation with a friend over lunch. Now, today, it may not be illegal to criticize some politicians, but it certainly isn't encouraged or accepted. Unfortunately, this wasn't the only kind of censorship taking place under the Nazi Party. They also would seize any news outlet that defied their agenda, like controlling what is published in the newspaper, what airs on the radio, or burning books that were regarded as un-German. Does this sound a little too familiar? These same things are happening right in front of us nearly 100 years later. America formed because of tyrants like King George III and Adolf Hitler, people who want to limit the powers of the people and create a government with no transparency and no accountability. We know from these moments in history that censorship does not lead to an open road to freedom. It only compresses the voices of the people. The beginning of the First Amendment says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. As we covered last month, the United States was founded on the platform of Christian beliefs and being able to exercise those beliefs without interference of any kind. There's a common phrase I'm sure you've heard before that seems to support this idea: the separation of church and state. But what is this concept? The framers of America had experienced the European monarchy style of government, where state churches were used as a method of control. Wanting to avoid this kind of circumstance, our founders indicted the section of the First Amendment that protects churches from a congressional overreach. However, this isn't the same thing as a separation of church and state. Separation of church and state is a term used to keep any religious guidance out of the state's matters, but it's actually not written anywhere in the Constitution because it wasn't the intention of our founders. James Madison said, "The people feared one sect might obtain a preeminence or two combined together and establish a religion to which they would compel others to conform." Their goal wasn't to keep the church and state divided or keep the church out of the state's business. It was to keep the state out of the church's business. Just in the last few months, I have started utilizing my right to peaceably assemble. I've gone to rallies and protests to make my voice heard as well as support the like-minded people around me. Never in a million years did I see myself participating in these events, let alone standing outside Indiana University for hours in the pouring rain and a crazy amount of cicadas to protest a vaccine mandate. It was a long drive there, wicked hot temperatures, somewhat frustrating that it wasn't already obvious that a vaccine mandate is unconstitutional, and a longer drive home wearing wet clothes. But I would do it again today, and I'd do it again tomorrow, and next week, and the week after that, because my voice, whether it was truly being heard by the administration or not, was supporting someone else's fight. I have not and will not attend Indiana University, but there are over 43,000 people around my age who are currently enrolled there. And I can't imagine how many struggled with the decision to get vaccinated or sit out of the college experience at IU. They may not have been able to use their voice that day, but I will use my right to defend their voice anytime they need it. The right to peaceably assemble is absolutely essential. If the government doesn't pick up the phone, if they don't read your emails and respond, what else can you do? You can gather like-minded patriots and show them what you care about and just how much you care about it. As I've said before, desperate times call for patriotic measures, and the right to peaceably assemble might be our best shot to save America. So if you feel strongly about something, make it known. Go to school board meetings, speak to the city council, rally behind every patriot you can, because everyone is staring this tyrannical government in the eye in some kind of way right now, and we need to stand together, armed with the armor of God. The First Amendment also grants the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Last month, we discussed the term "we the people" and how it was written as a reminder that elected officials are supposed to work for the benefit of citizens, not themselves. The right to petition somewhat allows the people to hold their representatives accountable. If you have questions, concerns, an opinion you want heard, or the desire to right a wrong, this piece of the amendment authorizes your ability to do so. I haven't had too much experience in this field with the government, but I have at the university I currently attend. Many members in a school organization I'm in have experienced instances of conflict because of the school's mask mandate, myself included. I've been yelled at, told I need a mask because I don't have an immune system if I'm not vaccinated, chased into a bathroom stall, and threatened with a call to public safety. Since the mandate has been less than kind to many students, we decided to make a petition for face coverings to be optional on campus. We had a grievance and we addressed it using our First Amendment rights. Every last amendment in the Constitution is fundamental in maintaining America's status of independence. But I would argue that the First Amendment is one of the most important. Posting on social media, talking politics with friends and family at dinner, going to church every Sunday, reading a truthful newspaper, watching truthful news, protesting vaccine and mask mandates, proposing a resolution at a city council meeting. These are unalienable, ensured rights we're talking about. Though they are all under attack right now, just know that they are yours, given to you by the one true God, maintained by the Constitution. These are rights that no man can take from you. So next time you notice an invasion on your First Amendment rights, what will you do? Will you keep scrolling? Will you add it to the lengthy list of things to do this week and forget about it? Or will you take note of it and do something before it's too late? The First Amendment is the grand opening to the Bill of Rights. Which reminds me, Bill of Rights Day is coming up, which also means Citizens for Liberty's Bill of Rights Day celebration is here. Join us on December 11th at the VFW number 1114 on Wabash Avenue of the Flags from 10 a.m. to noon. Students will present each amendment in the Bill of Rights, Citizens for Liberty's essay winners will be announced, and Professor Scott Gerber will be speaking, so you don't want to miss it. Check out Citizens for Liberty on Facebook for more information. Thank you so much for tuning in to this month's episode of The American Approach. This is Honor Bells signing off. Have a happy holiday season, and I'll see you next year. But until then, stay encouraged, eat lots of cookies, and keep it constitutional, ladies and gents. The purpose of Citizens for Liberty is to provide methods for the service delivery of educating the citizens of Indiana and our federal public on the United States Constitution and the Indiana State Constitution, with particular emphasis on reestablishing the understanding of our unalienable rights in the hearts and minds of all citizens. Go to www.citizensforliberty.org. That's www.citizensforliberty.org to learn more about the organization.